Welcome to the Bay. Today, we are tackling a huge one. This is one of the most critical decisions any high-end PC builder is going to face, picking the right graphics card. It's the absolute heart of your rig. And, the choice between two of NVIDIA's heavy hitters, the RTX 5070 Ti and the RTX 5080, well, that can define your gaming experience for years to come.
So what's it going to be? Are you looking for the powerhouse GPU that's going to reign supreme at 1440p? Or are you looking for the absolute beast you need to really go out and conquer 4K gaming? That's the big question we're going to answer today. We're here to help you figure out which of these two monsters is the perfect fit for your next build.
And hey, we're not just pulling this out of thin air. This whole guide is powered by some really deep dive research and hard data from our friends and the experts over at bestgpusforgaming.com. They've already crunched all the numbers, so you don't have to.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll meet the two contenders. Then, we'll pit them head-to-head on performance, both at 1440p and 4K. After that, we'll check out features and power draw, super important stuff. Then we'll get to the big one, value, a little frames per dollar action. And finally, we'll put it all together to help you find your perfect match. Sound good? Let's do it.
First up, let's get acquainted with the hardware we're actually talking about. It's time for a proper introduction to really set the stage for this high-stakes showdown.
All right, let's meet them. First, you've got the RTX 5070 Ti. I want you to think of this as the 1440p king, the efficiency king. It's built for amazing high refresh rate gaming, and it usually comes in around $749. Then, you've got the RTX 5080. This is the bigger, more powerful card. It's aimed at just pushing performance to the absolute limit, especially at 4K, and that comes with a price tag of about $999. Let's see if that extra cash is worth it.
Okay, now we're getting to the main event, raw performance. This is where we see what kind of frame rates you can actually expect when you're in the thick of it, pushing pixels at both 1440p and 4K. So let's take a super demanding game like Cyberpunk 2077, crank it to 1440p ultra settings, and the difference is pretty clear. The 5070 Ti puts up a really strong 98 FPS, but the 5080, it just pulls ahead with 112 FPS. That's a jump you'll definitely feel, especially on a high refresh monitor.
And check this out. When you make that jump to 4K resolution, that performance gap, it gets even wider. The RTX 5080's extra muscle really starts to flex here, giving it a much more significant 10 to 15% lead over the 5070 Ti. This is exactly where the 5080 starts to justify its higher price for anybody chasing that ultimate visual fidelity. And it's not just in Cyberpunk either. We see this same story across a whole range of popular titles at 1440p. Look at Warzone, Starfield, Fortnite. The 5080 is consistently delivering higher average frame rates. So here's the bottom line. If you're a competitive player and you're trying to squeeze out every single frame on your high refresh monitor, the 5080 definitely has the edge.
But you know what? Performance isn't just about raw frame rates. We got to look under the hood at the core specs and, just as importantly, the power requirements that are going to affect your entire PC build.
Okay, this table lays it out perfectly. Both cards have 16 gigs of super fast GDDR7 memory, which is awesome, but look a little closer. The 5080 has a wider 256-bit memory bus, which just means more data can get through at once. It also has a higher power draw, 360 watts, which means you'll probably need a beefier 850-watt power supply. Compare that to the 750-watt recommendation for the 300-watt 5070 Ti. But here is the really good news. No matter which card you choose, you are getting the same cutting-edge Blackwell architecture. That means you get access to all the goodies, the latest 5th-gen Tensor cores, 4th-gen RT cores for just incredible ray tracing, and of course the game-changing DLSS4 with multi-frame generation. You're not missing out on any next-gen features, no matter which way you go.
All right, let's talk about the thing that might matter most to a lot of you, value. Let's break down the cost and see which of these cards gives you the most bang for your buck, or, the most frames for every dollar you spend.
Let's just put the numbers right up there. The RTX 5070 Ti typically sits around $749, while the RTX 5080 comes in at about $999. So yeah, that's a solid $250 difference. The question then becomes, is the extra performance you get from the 5080 actually worth that premium? To you.
And right here, this is where the story gets really interesting. When we calculate the frames per dollar at 1440p, the RTX 5070 Ti is the clear winner.
It's not even close. For every single dollar you spend, you are just getting more raw performance out of the 5070 Ti. So for builders who are focused purely on maximizing value, this slide kind of says it all. So we've looked at performance, we've looked at features, and we've looked at value. Now it's time to bring it all together and help you figure out which of these GPUs is the perfect match for you. So first up, if you're a 1440p high-refresh gamer, our recommendation is the RTX 5070 Ti. No question. It delivers more than enough power to drive those crazy high frame rates in competitive titles, all while saving you money and running more efficiently. It's just the smart, balanced choice for this kind of setup.
But if you're a 4K enthusiast, or you're someone who just has to crank every single ray tracing setting to the max, well, then the RTX 5080 is your card. That extra 10 to 15% performance at 4K, that's crucial headroom. It ensures you get a smooth, no-compromises experience in the most visually stunning games out there.
And finally, let's talk practicalities, because they matter. If you're building in a smaller case, or maybe you just really value a quiet, cool-running rig, then the RTX 5070 Ti is probably the way to go again. Its lower 300-watt power draw just means less heat to deal with. That makes cooling way easier, and it lets you get away with a more common 750-watt power supply.
So there you have it. After laying it all out, the choice is yours. Are you going to prioritize the incredible value of the 5070 Ti for a top-tier 1440p setup? Or are you going to go all in on the raw, uncompromised power of the 5080 for that ultimate 4K experience?
Hey, for an even deeper dive and a ton more hardware guides, make sure you visit the source for all this info, bestgpusforgaming.com. They do amazing work over there. Keep it cool and keep building.